I'm a really great crier. Basically, when I cry, it doesn't look like I've been crying. It's like a skill. It's a genetic skill that I have. Basically, I've been crying for the past 2 hours. Yay. And it's a weird feeling because I don't necessarily want to talk about it. But I'm gonna. It's basically like a bum relaxing feeling. It sounds like a crackling fire, which kills me because I love open fires. There's nothing better than an open fire. Is there? No. You can't argue with me because I literally can't hear you. Hello. It's me. I don't know if the microphone even sounds that good. Okay. If you live in the Northern Hemisphere, like myself, then you'll be maybe struggling with the vibes of like, oh, well, you know, winter is coming. And I think a lot of people are like feeling it. Me personally, I'm feeling pretty fucking smashing about it. Until we get into the depths of winter, I find autumn kind of nice. I'm kind of loving it, and today we're going to be talking about how to get rid of those pre-winter / autumnal blues. I've got the method, and firstly I'm going to fucking go into why. I don't know, the thing is, right, okay, I'm a really fucking great crier. Basically, when I cry, it doesn't look like I've been crying. It's like a skill. It's a genetic skill that I have. Basically, I've been crying for the past 2 hours. Yay. But not in like a, you know, something terrible's happened. Basically, I've been watching TV. Story of my life. And what happened was I watched something that I don't think is supposed to be sad, but ended up being really fucking sad. And I don't want to give you any spoilers, but basically, I will tell you what programme it was. It's actually a British programme called Sex Education. I was going to do a whole episode on it, and I was like, nah, I really don't think I can long out crying about TV programmes for a whole at least half an hour. So today we're talking about autumnal blues or, you know, pre-winter blues. But basically, Sex Education, it's the last season. They've fucking pulled at my heartstrings, and I just relate to so much of it. It's like, it is a little bit like, I know this sounds really obvious, but like the way they talk is very educational and very like counsellor-like. But apart from that, there's a lot of storylines. They wrapped them all up. They were very wholesome, and it fucking killed me. Like, it really did. And I wasn't the only one that was crying, let's put it that way. I watched it twice as well because Tom was annoyed that I watched it without him. So I had to watch it again. And I wasn't like sad about watching it again, but I cried still at exactly the same points. You know when you just relate to something and you're like, you can put yourself in that situation. Anyway, you didn't come here for that, but I just wanted to explain, if you're watching the video, that's why I do have slightly puffy eyes. But actually I've recovered pretty well. Literally like less than half an hour ago I was crying. So gal is doing pretty well right here. Today, like I said, I'm basically bringing in some of the Scandinavian, Danish, Norwegian vibes of what I have called incorrectly for a very long time, and I'm not really that embarrassed about, but I probably should be more embarrassed than I am. I've always called it Hygge. Hygge. You know what I mean. I bet you fucking do. It's basically Hygge. Well, maybe you don't know it, but I'm going to explain it today. Basically, it's actually said, oh wait, now I'm kind of a bit apprehensive about saying it the right way, which is backwards. But you know, when you've been saying something wrong for so long, it sounds right to you. So, Hygge, right? That's the fucking Scandinavian way to say it, the Danish way. It's actually a Danish thing, and Danes are, including other Scandinavians, are the happiest people in the world. They have the highest happiness rating in the fucking world. So they're doing something right. And some of it, people have written books on this shit, you know. It's called, do you know what? Oh, I really want to call it Hygge. Because to me, Hygge doesn't sound right. But then if I say Hygge, people are going to think, what the fuck? Sort your life out. Hygge. All right. So I'm going to tell you how I'm bringing some kind of Hygge into my world. But also, it's not all Hygge. All right, there's just some nice shit. All right, so let's get into it today. There are apparently 10 principles, which I didn't know until I started like looking up this whole topic. basically. I knew about this topic. I can't remember how. I think I was like looking at some, I don't know. You know when you just hear about shit and you don't know how you heard about it. There have been books, like I said, people have written actual books about this, and it's kind of cute. Like, in my brain, reading books, like paperback books, is fucking Hygge or Hygge. And that to me is just vibes. I've recently been feeling vibes, and I always get that kind of weird feeling. I'm going to call it like an ASMR feeling. It's like a kind of nice, relaxed, like tingly, warm, but like not tingly in a bad way or like warm in a fever way, but like tingly, warm, happy feeling. Whenever I go into a new house, when there's nothing in the house, I'm going to explain it in probably the weirdest way possible, but some of you will get it, and that will be great. I get this, like, I guess what people get with ASMR is like this, oh, by the way, ASMR, if you don't know, it's like, you know when people like eat stuff really close to the microphone, or they're whispering and people really like that. I don't get ASMR vibes from that. ASMR is autonomic sensory meridian response, and it's basically like a nervous system response to like things that we like. And I get that, it's really specific, to open house, to non-lived in houses. They don't have to be new, but they have to have like nothing in it. Like, and it's not as though I can like watch it. I don't think I can watch it on TV and get that same feeling. But it's like, I just go into, I'm even getting the feeling like thinking about it. And it's a weird feeling because I don't necessarily want to talk about it. But I'm going to. It's basically like a bum relaxing feeling. I don't know, like some kind of anal sphincter feeling. There we go, we went there. But look, it's fucking normalising it, isn't it? I get a bum relaxing feeling when I'm in an empty house. There we go, I fucking said it. And I feel like if you've had it, you know. If you know, you know, right? But some people get their like tingling over like their head and shoulders. I get it like the lower half of my body. So that's all fun. And no, it's not like a weird orgasm or whatever. It's just tingly, weird, relaxy feeling. I don't know how to explain it. Apart from it's probably ASMR feeling. But I've been getting that recently, but without being in an empty house. I know, it's a weird thing. I also get it with the smell of old books. I get that kind of relaxy feeling. And I get it with like when I'm into something, like some of the things I'm going to talk about today. Oh, sorry, I just burped. Right. Let's talk about, so this is actually from the book of called The Little Book of Hygge, The Danish Way to Live Well, because it is Danish, also partly Norwegian, and it basically means to be, it's a concept. This is from, actually, ChatGPT has summarised the webpage for me, so thanks so much for your help. But basically, it's not like translated easily into like a single word, but it kind of represents a feeling or an ideal or a way of being. A bit like mindfulness. Doesn't really like... You can kind of explain it, but it's more of like a feeling, a sense of being present. But it's basically, it encompasses feelings of like coziness, contentment, well-being, being with family, being in like spending time with people, socializing, like being in a cozy environment, feeling comfortable. Anyway, this guy, I don't know, Viking probably, who wrote that book, has basically said there are like 10 principles, right? And I guess you can kind of pick one from each, or you could just use it as a definition, or you can use it to inspire you. I bet there's some fucking great shit on Pinterest. Or, yeah, Pinterest. Go on to Pinterest, type in Hygge, which, no, it's not Hygge, Hygge, and it H-U, wait, is it H? No, not H-U, H-Y. Hygge, Hygge, and type that into Pinterest and you'll have a great time. There's also some really nice, like, what would you call it, clip art of Hygge, and I think that's where I kind of know it from and I kind of love it. So, the first one is atmosphere. So, for example, my favourite one within the atmosphere kind of principle is blankets. No, that was not what I was going to say. I don't know what just happened there. I started in my head saying a different word and then blankets came out. That was really weird. I think maybe because blanket is written on there, but I can't see it. So anyway, blankets is also one, right? That gives you also comfort. But what I was going to say was candles, and very specifically scented candles, and very specifically some kind of Christmassy candle, right? Because we only really want the hygge in the winter. It's like, okay, the way I can describe it is, you know, when you watch a Christmassy film and you're like all cuddled up on the sofa, but you see them in their like Christmassy environment and they're like really cozy and snuggly and having a fucking great time, and you're like, oh, I wish I could like be in that environment. That is hygge environment, in my opinion, without the necessarily drama of being in a movie. But basically, like, snowing outside, obviously you can't necessarily recreate that. But a couple of years ago, we actually went to Norway. It was fucking expensive, but it was lovely. It snowed. I saw the Northern Lights. We saw reindeer. That was fucking hygge, right? We stayed in a tent, like a yurt kind of thing, one night, and we had a log fire in it, and there was reindeer skin, and there was reindeer outside of the yurt. It was honestly so nice. I mean, I did wake up in the middle of the night and have to put more logs on the fire, but I didn't give a shit. I was like, I literally don't care. This is amazing. Went straight back to sleep. Oh, so good. And you could hear all the reindeer outside because obviously you're basically in a tent. Doesn't that sound amazing? Yeah. And we fed the reindeer the day before, and we also went on a reindeer ride, I think, like on some sleighs. I know. And we had reindeer soup, which was kind of like a bit weird because we basically like petted the reindeer and we like loved the reindeer, and then we ate them. But I mean, to the Norwegians, they're kind of like a herd of animals to them. They're not like pets as such. So it's not like eating a pet. It's more like if a farmer had like a herd of cows, it would be like, oh, you could go and see the cows, but then you might eat some beef, right? So it wasn't really like weird. But anyway, that was my hygge, and that was in 2021 New Year, because I remember in December, because we went there and we watched the fireworks, and it was so good. Oh, it was so nice, and I've got some really good pictures from that, which are fucking beautiful. Honestly, I'd love to go back there. I want to go back there for Christmas, like, all the time. That is basically fucking vibes, you know? Snow, like, Christmas lights, you've got your, like, Christmas hat on, and it's, like, actively snowing, like, not just, like, the really shit snow that you get in the UK, or, like, so just go somewhere where it's snowy, you know? Like, it doesn't have to necessarily be too, Norway or somewhere up there, but you know, you could go to Canada or some American states. Snow, I mean, you don't need snow, but for me, I feel like I kind of do. Like, the snow just absolutely levels it up, right? And for me, hygge, it sounds so weird because I've said Hygge all my life. For me, hygge is that Christmas vibe. You know, the Christmas scene, Christmas carols playing, and you're having like fucking mulled wine and mince pies and like Christmas spice. You can smell it, like, oh God, it's killing me so much. Anyway, let's try and recreate that at home, shall we? So that's atmosphere. For me, it's like all about the smells and the feeling. And another thing, blankets, candles, scented candles. Oh my God, by the way, somebody bought me, my friend, bought me a candle that crackles. I'm telling you, I honestly, this was like one of the first things I wrote. I'm using my whiteboard today. Here it is. It's pretty cool. I recently refound it. It was behind one of my chest of drawers, and I didn't know it was there, but I like using my whiteboard because I can make a mess and just rub it out. Anyway, that was one of the first things I wrote on my whiteboard, was candles crackling. Crackling candles. Guys, I honestly if I ever make like a product in the future, it might be crackling candles might be in there. I don't know how that's going to go, but as like a product, but crackling candles, I can't fucking cope. They are basically, it sounds like a crackling fire, which kills me because I fucking love open fires. There's nothing better than an open fire. Is there? No, you can't argue with me because I literally can't hear you. So no, there is nothing better than an open fire. I can't cope with it. So to have that kind of, we don't have an open fire. Well, not necessarily an open fire, a live fire, right? So it might not be open, but it might be like a closed fire. What are they called? Log burner. But as in just a live fire. I don't know what else you'd call a live fire. A fire. As in not like a shitty electric one. Like you want the crackling noise. Anyway, if you don't have one / don't want one, fine. But next best thing is you could get one up on your TV. Nah. I love the smell of candles blowing out as well. So even when you're done, it's like you blow it out and it's just amazing. Maybe it reminds me of birthdays or something and eating cake. Anyway, so you light this crackling candle. It was made out of like bamboo or something, and it's like fucking ethical, soy candle. Like it's amazing. It smells good. It was like cinnamon, apple spice. It's the epitome of Hygge, I'm telling you. Anyway, so my friend got me this for my birthday last year, which is in December, so it's like the perfect time for it. And I've been lighting it recently because we've come back into wintry autumn thing. It's amazing. It crackles and it's not that loud, but like it's loud enough. You could put it further away, to be fair. I have it like right in front of me. You could put it like the other side of the room and then it wouldn't be that loud. But for me, I just love it. So I'm telling you, like if you do anything during this episode, please have a look at crackling candles. Like I can't cope. That is a cheaper alternative to getting an open fire and also a safer one probably, and also a nicer smelling one. Also, you don't have to clean it up. Like with a fire, you have to clean it up. What a fucking nightmare. Okay, I've already said blankets accidentally. We've got a couple of blankets in our front room. I literally wouldn't cope without them, especially in winter. And one of them's like checkered. It's all right. It's warm. I want a different design, but whatever. We'll cope. And then I've got like a white one that I got from IKEA the other day, which is not warm, but it's more decorative. It was more decorative for the sofa because I was getting bored of the other one, But the other one's really thick and it's got fluffy side on it. So yeah, blankets are a vibe. Fluffy socks or like warm woolen thick socks, like socks that keep your feet warm. Slippers, maybe slippers. Optional, I would say. You don't necessarily need slippers to complete the vibe. I would also say recently I have been loving recipe books. Physical book that I open, I put like a post-it note in it, and I use it on my recipe book stand. This doesn't necessarily relate to like necessarily, did I just say that twice? Recipe books. You can use just like a physical book or like even your Kindle, just reading. So calming. Have your candle going in the background. Read a magazine, the ones that I've mentioned in my previous episodes of my podcast. Or you can, read a recipe book, but not just read it, right? Make it. Make the stuff. So I put it in my kitchen and I've been making stuff. I never cook, all right? I never cook. But recently I've been fucking with it big time. I've been so into it. I have been cooking left, right and centre. I've been meal prepping. I've been freezing stuff. I've been having a great time, to be quite honest. And I put it all down to my recipe books. I've recently refound some of my old recipe books, which are literally I haven't made anything from, but I liked the book. And then I got one at the book swap thing cupboard at work the other day, which was another, like, they're all healthy. I've got like loads of healthy recipe books, but like I want them to be healthy and like easy, because I'm not going to do it if it's like, if it's going to take me 6 hours to make a meal. No, I want something that's like, either half an hour or less, or something that I can like cook and then freeze if it does take me a long time. Do you know what I mean? So, but anyway, I think what that one brings about with the recipe books and like opening books and shit is one of the principles we'll go back to, right? So pleasure, maybe, I would say, but also presence. So not like presents like a gift, plural gift, but like presence as in I'm here, I am present, and I'm focusing on what I'm doing right now. So often I sit in front of the TV, watch a fucking trashy TV show, don't hate on myself about it, but like I don't feel very present, I'm watching that, and sometimes I'm on my laptop as well, like making thumbnails or preparing a podcast or whatever, or editing one, and I'm not really present. Whereas when I'm like reading a book, I'm really like, there's no noise, there's no like fucking blaring music in the background, like, and I'm like, oh God, because I've been watching Keeping Up with the Kardashians, which I know is big time trash TV. I should probably stop watching it, but I don't need to concentrate on it. And also kind of weirdly interested in LA, like it's a bit like of a utopia dystopia for me, and I kind of want to go there and just see what it's like, but also don't want to go there because I know, I've heard that they care a lot about appearance and your popularity, and I'm not really into that, so I don't know how much I'll like it, but it sounds like a really weird place to go, so I kind of want to go for that reason and that reason only. But basically that is, I want to be more present, and that moves on to my next one, and this one's actually like an outdoor one, so it's not necessarily Hygge inside, it's outside. Anyway, I've recently been loving going for autumnal walks. I'm doing the same walk that I do all the time with the dogs, but this time it's different because number one, it's not hot. Number two, it's not that cold either. It's kind of in the middle, and I kind of love it. Earlier, I went out in this. I'm literally wearing like the thinnest top you can ever possibly imagine in the world, and like a sports bra, and then some jogging bottoms. It was fucking comfy. It was peaceful. It was nice. It was like the right temperature. The leaves were like falling from the trees. It was honestly beautiful. And it was so nice, and I'm just finding them really relaxing at the moment, and I'm not like trotting around the park like trying to get it over and done with. I'm like chilling, and again, that's some kind of like pleasure and presence, and it's like a mind, basically like Hygge. I keep calling it Hygge, I'm so sorry. Do you know what, I'm just gonna fucking roll with it. Hygge is basically like being mindful, but like also a bit cozy and doing it with people that you like. So that's like the UK version, non-Scandinavian version. So autumnal walks I'm really vibing with, and the conkers are all falling at the moment, which is like super cute. The leaves are all turning brown, and it's real nice. I've put here cozy and jumpers. Now if you listen in the the US, that would be a sweatshirt, I believe, or a pullover. We use the word jumper, which apparently is a very weird word to use, but alas, that's what we're doing. So jumper, cozy jumper, like a nice knitted jumper, maybe one with like a nice little Nordic pattern on. It smells fresh and like nice, and it's cozy, and it's not itchy. You don't want an itchy one. Or the problem is proper wool is actually quite itchy, so I don't know how you get around that unless you have like cashmere, or wow, that took a real turn. Cashmere. I've never owned cashmere in my life, by the way, or like alpaca wool, again, never owned. But sheep wool is actually quite itchy, so I don't know why people fuck with it, but it makes me itch, makes me scratch, I should say. So cozy jumper fits into the comfort, I would say, comfort vibe. There's some on here that I don't really understand, or like I maybe couldn't fit something into. Let's say, for example, truce. What does that mean? Does that mean like not arguing, or like, not not disagreeing on stuff. I don't fucking know. Truce. Let's Google truce. Hygge. Doesn't really specifically say. Yeah, it's just truce, kindness. Means prompting, understanding, empathy and kindness in your interactions. It's about creating an atmosphere where everyone feels welcomed and valued, contributing to a sense of well-being and contentment. Yeah, so basically don't argue with people. Accept people and accept your differences and move on. And that is, I guess, truce. I feel like equality, which is another one, fits into truce quite well, because we just said like accepting everybody and like just treating everyone equally and just being generally like nice and just being fucking chill and just being nice to people. So that's a vibe. On my list as well, on my comfort list, is maybe shelter is another one. Also, yeah, we'll stop there. We've recently bought a weighted blanket, which was kind of a random impulse buy / purchase, but like it was kind of there and in the shop. Lidl's middle aisle, that's fucking right. You know exactly what I'm talking about, what we found there, right? Weighted blanket. It was staring us right in the face. There were loads of other shit as well. There was loads of other shit as well, but Tom was like thinking about getting a weighted blanket anyway, and then we saw one and we bought it and we've put it on our bed. It's 7 kilos. It's pretty heavy. I'm the only one that ever sleeps like fully underneath it all night. It's actually been quite good for like warmth and stuff because it is getting a bit colder. I like it. I don't know how much it helps with my anxiety, but to be fair, I haven't really been that anxious recently, which is pretty fucking miraculous, to be quite honest. So I don't really know how well it works. Maybe it's working so well that I haven't been that anxious. You know, maybe it's just working and I just didn't realise it. But I've been sleeping really well under it, to be fair. Can't deny that. I have been enjoying it. And so that would fit into like shelter. You know, right, so weighted blankets. When I was at a festival, Boomtown, recently in August, there's a video of it on my YouTube channel. I had a bit of an anxious time. I had a real big problem with anxiety. Like, it plagued me the whole time, almost, except when I was drunk. So, on one of the nights I met these people and I said I was really cold, and then one of them gave me this like lion, it literally was like a lion mane, but obviously not like from a real lion, or at least I don't think it was. Anyway, a lion mane, and it basically came like around your shoulders, went down your back a bit, and it had a hood, so you looked like properly like a lion. I actually have a picture of me in this. I think it's on my Instagram actually, Dawn Barlow 30, if you want to go look at it. I felt really cold, and then she gave me this and I put it on, and it was really good for anxiety. I kind of wish I had it like all the time, but basically anxiety things, like, they make you feel like you're being hugged all the time. So you're like encompassed within something. You've got like a mild pressure, not like a fucking ton of bricks on you, but like a mild pressure that makes you feel safe. And this was like, you know, a hood. I love having something like in front of my face. And whenever I sleep, I have the duvet like right up to my face. Obviously, I was going to say not if it's summer, but even when it's summer, I have a sheet. But I still probably have it up to here, especially when I go to sleep. I also sleep on my side or my front. I can't sleep on my back. It feels too exposed. So I think for me, having like something over my head really helped with the anxiety, but I think the weighted blanket is helping. Now, maybe on those hangover anxiety days, I will drag that blanket down the stairs and I will put it on the sofa, and I can update you on that one, because I don't yet know. I only sleep in it, and it's been nice. Anyway, that's on my list, I would say, for for Hygge things. Oh my god, my next one I'm loving right now. And I did actually put this on my list of 10, in fact I didn't put it as 10, but things I'm loving right now for my mental health. It's a recent episode. I'm giving you a fucking spoiler and spoiling one of them, but it's not that much of a big deal. Basically, one of them is recently nighttime swims. Now, I am a fucking lover of lighting. I love a good, like, ambiance, which is like Hygge, right? Ambiance is ambience, right? Ambient noise, ambient lighting. It's like right now I'm sat in a fucking studio lighting, like light box right in my face. I've got computer here. It's like, and then I've got the light up there. Like, it's not relaxing whatsoever. This is very stimulating. And then when we're sat in the front room, we don't have the main light on. We have candles lit, and that's like a recent thing. And then we have lamps. We have 3 lamps in there. They all go on. And anyway, where I'm getting to with my nighttime swims is basically at my gym, they've got an outdoor pool and it's lit fucking beautifully. I feel like I'm in heaven. And it's nice just being in the water in the nighttime because it's like quite silent. There's no kids there. It's kind of relaxing. It's cold and outside the water, but warm in. Not that warm though, trust me. It's still pretty fucking chilly. But if you go inside, it's like a bit more brightly lit. And it's also really noisy, like really echoey, whereas when you're outside, it's really fucking nice. So that is one thing that I'm loving right now is nighttime swims. And I would say it brings about that sense of atmosphere, presence, pleasure. I'm also so fucking grateful for it. That's another one of the principles. Gratitude. Harmony. Harmony with my body, with my breathing, and with the water. I feel like a fucking mermaid. Like, I honestly feel so good. And the next one, and probably one of the last ones, is togetherness. That is spending time with friends and family, people that you love or like. You don't have to love them, but people that you like spending time with. And whenever we go back to Tom's parents' house in Cornwall, they have a log fire, they put the lamps on, they have candles, and we all sit and watch like a movie together, and there's blankets and it's fucking cute. That is Hygge to me, right? And then we open, if it's Christmas, we'll open Christmas presents, and it's just real cute, right? It's just nice. That is Hygge. And you spend time with people. And Tom's like, why do we want to sit down there? And I'm like, because we came here to spend time with them, not just to like exist in under the same roof, right? So, you know, and we can tolerate that for a few days, but after a while, being with your parents can get a bit overwhelming. Let's put it that way. So, I've just seen that Hygge or Hygge is derived from the 16th century Norwegian word hugge, which means to comfort or to console, and is related to the English word hug. That makes fucking sense. That would mean I can't really call it Hygge. I'd have to call it Huggy instead. So, yeah, basically, I don't think that enjoying your surroundings and hyggeing your life up needs to be expensive. Like, get some candles, get some blankets, and get some lamps, and then just get your clothes. Get some scented candles, lamps, candles, and blankets, I would say, are the full Hygge vibe, right? And then for some friends, but they're free, you know? And then you could like make some hot chocolates. Oh god, it's so cute. That is how I've been loving autumn. Now, winter will be coming around. I struggle a bit in winter, I'm not gonna lie. I struggle with no fucking sunlight whatsoever. And when I went to Norway, it was kind of nice. Like, it was kind of dusky all the time. There was like, because we went right up to the north, like the highest you can go. We went to Tromsø to try and see the northern lights essentially, and it was basically it never like fully got light which was kind of weird. But I mean, we only went there for like a week, so I don't think that I could cope with it, but to live there long term. But I am in the future episodes going to be talking about things like winter blues and stuff like that, seasonal affective disorder. So I think I do get a little bit of that, but I don't know if it's like a mental thing, or you just like leave to go to work and you get up and it's all fucking dark, and then you're in work and it's dark, it's light, and then you get out of work and it's dark. To be fair though, I don't work every day, so I'm kind of hoping that I will get to see the sunlight a bit. But I also might get one of those lamps, those lamps that give you light. They're supposed to help with SAD, which is seasonal affective disorder. So yeah, stay tuned for Dawn's next seasonal update. But basically, if you're new here, thanks so much for joining and listening till near the end. Basically, I am a doctor, but I also make content. I have a YouTube channel, I have a podcast. Obviously, you're fucking listening, so I have a podcast. But also, I do have a blog, but it's currently not working, so I'm not going to plug that whatsoever. You can go check me out on Instagram. I upload some, some pics. And I want to do some photo shoots, so I have got some things coming, And yeah, I think that's kind of it. Like, if you want to send me an email, you can contact@diariesofadoctor.com. I need to probably change that because, again, that's my website. And I don't use my website because anyway, we don't need to go into that. But basically, I discuss all things mental health, well-being, lifestyle-y stuff, and having struggled with a lot of mental health things myself and ongoing, and fucking everyone has mental health problems, so we all need some help in life, don't we? So that's what we discuss. If you want to listen, I do upload every Monday and Thursday, twice a week, and we discuss, like I said, all things mental health, basically, self-improvement, stuff like that. But yeah, give it a like if you liked it. If you're on YouTube, give it a thanks to all the people who do like it. Thanks so much. Give it a share to people who you think might like it, or give it a rating if you're listening on Spotify or something like that. Apple Podcast. Thanks so much. I will see you in a few days. Oh, by the way, I think we might be talking next about causes of being tired all the time and then how to fix it. So stay tuned. Bye. I don't know what happened there.